Yo, what's up guys? You got PokeaimMD here with the next part of the UU Road to Top 10 in Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon. Thank you everybody for all the support on the previous video. If you do enjoy this video, I would love if you leave a like. Obviously, only if you enjoy. If we could get to 1,000 likes, that'd be great. But today, we have a team by Panther T who apparently got to number 5 on the ladder with this team, as well as, or top 5 on the ladder rather, as well as he's used it for a few suspect tests. So without further ado, let's get right into the team. Alright, so the first member we have on the team is KOMMO-O. This is the same set as last time, except we're using Life Orb over Dragonium Z, Stealth Rock, Taunt, Close Combat, and Clanging Scales. It's designed to be a mixed wall breaker while also getting up rocked, while also still checking Pokemon like Bisharp and Crawdaunt. Max Speed Naive allows you to outspeed base 80s and below Pokemon like Mamoswine, as well as the fairies, which doesn't matter necessarily, but in the case of Togekiss and Mega Altaria, you can stop them from potentially Dragon Dancing or Nasty Plotting up and potentially sweeping the team, as you guys can see. But yeah, the idea of KOMMO-O is to be a solid stealth rocker that's also a wall breaker with close combat, able to basically touch steals as well as Blissey, and Clanging Scales breaking through physical walls like Chestnut, Alamola, as well as Amoonguss, and Taunt also helps you stop Spore. Next up we have ROTOM-MOW. Now ROTOM-MOW is the defogger on the team. It is a great defogger because it's able to beat a lot of the stealth rockers, besides the KOMMO-O that we do have, which is actually one of the checks to that. But it allows it to beat Pokemon like Empoleon and Hippowdon just because of its natural typing, breaking through bulky waters as well as bulky ground types. It is a ground immunity for the team as well, which is nice considering Krookodile is so prominent in the tier. And LAPAPA Berry is just there for longevity, timid and max speed, allowing us to get that fast Volt Switch off on Pokemon like KOMMO-O and below. Also outspeeding Pokemon like Nidoking, allowing us to hit it with a fast Leaf Storm. But it's just max special attack, max speed for the more offensive ROTOM-MOW. MOLTRES is the next member of the team. This is one of the Scizor checks on the team. This is also another defogger running double defog, and defog actually works really well with MOLTRES because it allows you to hit hurricanes. So you get the evasion dropping your opponent, and your hurricanes are more accurate. We have Flamethrower, which is great for steel types, specifically Scizor, obviously, and grass types in general. You guys know what fire is super effective on. But Flame Body is cool too because we can actually punish Scizor as long as rocks are not up. If Scizor goes for U-turn, we can get that 30% chance of burn. Basically, we can switch in Moltres on Scizor. It is the Scizor switching on the team. And FLYINIUM Z is nice because it becomes a nuke and Hurricane that actually guarantee connects, which is awesome for Moltres. One of the biggest drawbacks of using Moltres, besides Stealth Rock being 50% effective on Moltres, is missing Hurricane. Hurricane flying is such a great stab move, but it just misses so much, which is why FLYINIUM Z helps you deal with that. Base 90 speed, max timid, allowing us to outspeed Pokemon like KOMMO-O, Rotom forms, and everything below. And typically you might see U-turn over Roost, over Defog, or even Sub could work on Moltres or Will-O-Wisp, but this one is running double Defog because much like Rotom, it's also T-Spikes, Spikes, Sticky Web immunity that can defog, which is very good in a defogger. Krookodile is the next member in the squad. We are Choice Scarf Krookodile. We have 16 defense investment. That way, at -1, we have a pretty good chance of living on all-out pummeling from Zeraora, as well as a close combat. Obviously, we will be able to live that. Jolly Max Speed. Stone Edge is our last move. The rest is all standard. Knockoff, Pursuit, and Earthquake is something you will always see on Choice Scarf Krookodile. Just being able to trap Pokemon like Lottie, as well as be an electric immunity, is really, really solid. Intimidate's good for buffering physical attacks as well. But Stone Edge is the last move, and this is usually a toss-up between Stone Edge, Fire Fang, sometimes random superpower, which I think is way less used, and then Crunch, which hits Pokemon like Z Lottie harder than a knockoff would. But Stone Edge is there for Moltres as well as Mega Aerodactyl. That's the idea behind it. As you can see from the team, Moltres is a problem, right? One of the biggest, Moltres is always a problem unless your name is Rotom Heat. One of the biggest drawbacks of Moltres, though, is it will not hit its attacks for the most part. So at least having a way of dealing with Moltres and knocking it out is fantastic for Krookodile. It also gives us some speed control and a Choice Scarfer, so we don't lose to straight up Pokemon like Dragon Dance KOMMO-O, for instance, which doesn't Dragon Dance for free versus anything on the squad except for Rotom. But even then, we can get some damage off. We do have a defensive Primarina, which is our next member of the squad. This is Ice Resist. This is a Dragon Immunity. This is a Fighting Resist, and a bunch more. But this is defensive Primarina. We're Moonblast, Scald, Rest Talk. This Pokemon with its defense EVs and HP is not 2-hit KO'd by Krookodile's Earthquake. It also has enough special attack to guarantee knockout Dragon Dance Altaria, Mega Altaria after rocks. while also hitting, of course, harder with Moonblast and Scald, whether it be super effective damage. This is a Hydreigon switching on the team, which otherwise gives us problems, but again, a Dark Resist, Dragon Immunity, fantastic for that. It's also a Sleep Absorber, which is really cool, though I don't know if I'll be bringing this thing in on Amoonguss too much, but I have technically 2 Sleep Absorbers on the team because, or at least when it comes to Spore, because Rotom cannot be put to sleep, but obviously Rotom cannot touch Amoonguss, and same thing with this. This can be put to sleep, but can't really touch Amoonguss, but can at least absorb the sleep if I need to. But it is Fire Resist on the team as well, and like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of Defensive Primarina, I'll be honest. I'd much rather have a Specs nuke that just clicks buttons, because the Specs set has like 2 switches in the entire tier, and one of them is Blissey. The other one, I don't even remember off the top of my head. Maybe Mantine? I don't think Mantine even counts, because if rocks are up, then it gets to a KO too. But Defensive Primarina actually works really well with this team, considering how weak it is to Krookodile, and offensive fire types in general can be a problem. Scizor is the last member on the squad. Oh, just real quick to go back to Primarina. It also is a Mega Sharpedo check, but I mean, you can tell that by the fact that I said Water Resist, Dark Resist, and whatnot. Scizor is the last member of the squad. We are Choice Band, Scizor with Bullet Punch, U-Turn, Superpower, and Pursuit. Pursuit is there for Lottie as well as some Ghost types, but like Gengar. But Bullet Punch is our stab, strongest attack. We have 164 HP investment. This allows us to live an Adamant Crunch from a Mega Sharpedo, as well as the speed allowing us to outspeed Klefki, so we can Bullet Punch before it can Thunder Wave us, for instance, or if it does have the rare HP Fire, which was actually at a point kind of common, though it's rare right now. It helps us out. And the rest is just points of HP to better let us check Pokemon like Latias and also Mega Aerial if need be. But that is the team for today's episode. Let us get right into the battles. Alright guys, so we have our first battle, and this guy has a few very underrated Pokemon in my opinion. Well, actually, they're not necessarily underrated anymore, but I feel like Mega Sceptile and, well, again, Gligar and Diancie are rising in usage, but I feel like Mega Sceptile is super solid, especially versus this team, now that I look at it. Miss Magius, I think, is a really underrated threat too, but I guess technically Gengar can do it better, but Gengar doesn't have access to Nasty Plot, so if it's like sub Twinkle Tackle, could be very annoying. As far as winning this game goes, it's going to be a little bit tough because Diancie is just a great answer to my Moltres, and I'm pretty weak to his Sceptile. So as far as leads go, maybe I could break through the Diancie with KOMMO and then hope to win with my Moltres, because it kind of just beats everything. I feel like Scizor is going to be super important because U-Turn, Bullet Punch, well, U-Turn, Bullet Punch, same thing, Bullet Punch, Bullet Punch. Gotta be careful not to lose this Mon. I'm gonna lead KOMMO because if he leads Gligar, which is pretty decent as a lead, ends up leading off with Miss Magius, I'd be able to taunt it and get up rocks, but I don't want to take a Dazzling Gleam. I don't mind Nasty Plot as long as I'm able just to Bullet Punch this turn and knock him out. Yeah, I'm Choice Banned, so I don't really mind that. I feel like that was a really premature setup. Nothing was set up for my opponent to win with that game right there as he goes out into Muck. I'm assuming this is where you go for knockoff, so KOMMO should be good either way. Fire Punch is also an option my opponent could obviously have. And we'll hit him with Clanging Scales. I went for Clanging Scales because I felt like Gligar was a really solid switch in there. Nice damage. No Poison Touch. Should I close combat this for Chip? Up rocks. I'd rather have rocks to pressure the Gligar, especially because that did so much. I think what I'm gonna do is go a little bit more aggressive. I'll go Krookodile and get in Primarina, because if he wants to default with Gligar, it gives me, he would basically be giving me it, so that way my Scizor can just BP through. So if he opts to default there, which I don't really care too much about, he's giving me a free Scald and making it so I can Bullet Punch his team. And I end up getting a burn too, which is fantastic. Goes for Toxic, which I don't mind too much because I can just rest it off, so that's great. That's the reason why I went Krookodile just to double immediately in the Primarina, because I'm setting up for that Bullet Punch sweep. I told you how good Scizor is versus his team. And I think that rocks were my best way of actually forcing Gligar into defog if he wanted to. Now this is where he goes Sceptile and kind of wins. Nah, he shouldn't be able to win with Sceptile. Though Diancie is his rocker, so maybe he can. because if he has enough rocks up to pressure my Moltres and he SDs up enough, could be annoying. But I'm sure between my Intimidate shuffling with Krookodile and switching back and forth, I kind of wish I had Will-O-Wisp on my Rotom. But thankfully Rotom is okay as a defogger versus him, since it can come in on Diancie and not care. If he opts to go Scizor now, I will just click Scald until I die. I think that's a very fair play, considering Primarina doesn't do much versus him besides check Diancie. Goes Muck. I can't let him knock off my Krookodile's Choice Scarf. Actually, maybe I can, since it's not going to do too much and he could just Giga Drain it back. Yeah, I'll let him knock off my Krookodile's Choice Scarf. I don't think it'll matter as much. I'm thinking maybe chip damage for Sceptile, but I'm hoping I beat Sceptile with... Actually, now that I think about it, it's going to be tough either way. Because I don't... If he has Giga Drain, he'll be covering enough for the Scizor's Bullet Punch. I mean, ideally, it's fine. I think it's fine either way. Yeah, I think this is fine. First off, that means he has to go for knockoff this turn and not Poison Jab / Gunk Shot, which gives me a free Earthquake. And secondly, it would mean that he would specifically have to go for knockoff or get a poison on me. As long as I have my Krookodile's Choice Scarf, I should be good either way. And if he does go for knockoff, then good play on his part. Don't burn me. And then we'll just click Earthquake. Don't care if Sceptile comes in because I get a little bit of chip damage off on you. And Krookodile just being able to click Earthquake now with both his ground immunity is gone. Fantastic. I don't even know if he's going to go hard Sceptile because, well, there's no point in me going for knock. But if I did go for knock, it might have 2-hit KO'd Sceptile. I'm like, probably 47%, I want to say. Let's see. Because he's taking a while to pick his move. I want to say 47%. To Sceptile prior to Mega Evolving. Yeah, 49 to 58. That's not bad if I went for it, but then it gets Diancie in anyway. I like his name is Can I Rise to the Top. If Muck takes any more damage, it dies to BP. Diancie always dies, and I gotta see the calc on Sceptile. I'm assuming around 80 something percent. Like 80 to 90 something percent is the calc. Yep, 80 to 90. Now let's see Mega Sceptile. 72 to 86. Alright, so I do need some good chip. Ends up going out into Scizor. Odd. That Earthquake did 50. That Earthquake actually did 50. How? I guess he's choice spend no investment, or is that max investment? 43 to 51. Not worth the risk. You can just go Moltres. If he BPs, he can get burnt. And if he U-turns, he can get burnt too. It's the same thing. Yeah, so I got the burn on Scizor. Fantastic. That's literally why Moltres was there for. So that means next time Scizor cannot come in on me, though Diancie is going to be able to come out. However, I can always go Rotom and just start clicking T-Bolt. Again, the end game for Bullet Punch Sweep is very much there, especially if he ends up going Muck on Rotom, because that'll give me a defog on him. That'll give me a defog and a Volt Switch damage. Okay, dude. Just T-Bolt you for a little bit of chip for Krookodile. And then I'll defog away your light screen, so it doesn't really matter. And Sceptile, I mean, and Moltres is still out of range of the, and this is great too. I get rid of his screens, I get the chip I want on Muck, and Moltres is still out of range. And at this point, Primarina did its job. Does nothing. Does absolutely nothing. Especially because I don't think that I think that Diancie's dual screen. Poison Fang, interesting. How fast are you going this Muck? Got any speed? Just Moonblast. I guess I should have scalded there. Yeah, that's doing some damage, man. I don't want to rest because I don't want to give Sceptile a chance to get a free sub if it is like sub Giga Drain Sceptile or sub Leaf Storm Dragon Pulse HP Fire, something like that. So I'd much rather scald and get rid of Scizor as Diancie comes out. And this is great because this is, first off, this is Torrent boosted. I get a crit, unfortunately, which means my opponent can't even get up rocks, but I would have defogged them anyway. At this point, we'll go Moltres because, first off, we know he doesn't have Pursuit on Muck, and secondly, if he goes Sceptile, I can just Z Fly, and then Bullet Punch Sweep. And if he goes out into Muck, I'm pretty sure it's going to die to this in the Flamethrower anyway. Yep, no KO. We knock this down, then Krookodile or Scizor wins. So good, good, good. Good start, good start. Good start. Alright, I mean, that wasn't too hard of a battle. I feel like Miss Magius could have been played differently. This one looks like it'll be a little bit harder, for sure. Especially with Wish support plus Volcanion. Volcanion's annoying. Especially with Amoonguss too. But you know what else is super annoying versus my opponent? KOMMO-O. Except for they have Sylveon, so not as much. But I still like KOMMO-O as a lead, considering it resists everything that Volcanion can go for. Yeah, I'll just get up rocks here. It resists everything. He should go Sylveon, if anything. No, opposite click Earth Power. Specs, too. So as far as breaking through his team goes, I'm going to have to use my Scizor effectively here. Because he has Arrow to stop my Moltres, and... That's Specs, though. It has to be. Nice Zero Aura play. Don't think you can knock out my Rotom, so I'm just going to Leaf Storm here. Because that's a Bullet Punch resist. And we get rid of Zero Aura. I don't know if that crit mattered, but getting rid of one of his Bullet Punch resistances and all he has left is that Specs Volcanion makes it a little bit easier on me. Aerodactyl should always be checked by my Primarina. Sylveon comes out. This is where it gets a little nasty. Not so much though, because unless it's Calm Mind, Moltres doesn't care. And I'm not going to go Scizor and let it take any unnecessary damage. That boy is spectacles. That boy is spectacles, man. So that makes it a little easier because it's not actually Wish, but I need to keep Moltres alive. Maroof once more and then switch most likely. And probably end up sacking Rotom. No, I shouldn't sack Rotom because Rotom can still defog. I'm actually going to sack KOMMO-O. Because again, we know that dude's Specs. And we also know the Volcanion Specs. So that means he more than likely doesn't have Wish. Even if he does, it's whatever. But this just means that I can bring out my Scizor and just effectively click Bullet Punch here. And what I mean by that is because he doesn't have Wish support. Is this a Specs Amoonguss too? Okay, no, it's just Spadev. Bro. Because he doesn't have Wish support, every bit of damage with the rocks, with the BP, even if it's 10%, is always damage that's going to stay there. He only has potentially Healing Wish on Lottie. You better Sludge Wave here, bro. Otherwise, I'm bringing out Primarina. And not caring. And what I can do is actually double out into Moltres because it deals with the potential Amoonguss play. Flamethrower doesn't do crap to me. Go Sylveon. I'm not as worried about Amoonguss now that I saw the Bullet Punch damage. I should just Roost though. He could probably go Arrow, but I should always Roost. Did he Hyper Beam me? Okay, Psyshock was his play. Which Krookodile does not care. Krookodile also can win versus his team, so. I believe we could just click Knock Off here. As he goes Amoonguss, great, we get rid of its Leftovers recovery. Also allowing me to play my, I hope he doesn't go Sylveon. But also allowing me to play my Moltres a little more recklessly, considering that was the only mon I actually needed it for. Don't think Knock Off knocks you out. Also don't think I need Rotom anymore as a defogger. Though Volt Switch actually gave me a KO. Probably, actually in that sense, maybe I should have sacked Moltres over that. No. Because while Volt Switch actually did claim me a KO, I can get in Moltres now and just Z-Fly. And he gives me Volcanion, which is, again, his Bullet Punch switching. So at this point, he loses. Bullet Punch will knock out Aerodactyl after Rocks guaranteed. Lottie just needs a little bit of chip damage, which I can provide very easily. Because I always go Primarina, and then I just click. Good T-Ball play. I just click Moonblast. Don't think I need Primarina. The reason I hard switched, by the way, because if it was Calm Mind Lottie, Moltres is set up fodder for that. And all I gotta do here is click Pursuit, and Pursuit will guarantee the win. Whether he stays in or switches, and my Krookodile dies like Ice Beam or 2 or Dragonium Z, Pursuit guarantees the win. Because again, Aerodactyl has the damage. But I hope you guys understood why I switched to Primarina versus staying in. Yep, and that's game. Good game, dude. Because if he started Calm Minding up with Lottie, it could be a little bit more annoying. I guess either way I would go out into Krookodile anyway, so yeah, I could have just stayed him. But like, I had no damage to hit him, or no move to hit him with. If it was like random sub-Calm Mind too. But as I said, at this point, it was already led up to a Bullet Punch sweep. Getting rid of Zero Aura early with the Leaf Storm, and him allowing me just to wear down his Volcanion with rocks and whatnot. Also, turn 1 finding out its specs, all that really just played a role towards Scizor winning this game. And also finding out Sylveon with specs. I feel like had it been a Wish support one, it would have been a little bit different. This is another one where banded Scizor is fantastic. It gets a free BP versus Terrakion. I have Pursuit for Starmie. It's absolutely fantastic here. Now, as far as leads go, I'm leaning towards Krookodile, considering it matches up well versus everything besides... Actually, I'm leaning more towards KOMMO-O, because I can always... It goes up well versus the B. I don't think I mind too much Terrakion's damage unless it's all out pummeling. Which I guess it could be. A Rocks here. I feel like you might go... I didn't think Starmie was a play. I feel like you might go Amoonguss there. But... yeah. I can effectively just click Rapid Spin here. If this is offensive... Or excuse me, Clanging Scales. If this is offensive, he will die eventually. He might have Psyshock. Primarina walls a lot of his team, so it's not worth the risk. As far as what's useless on this game goes, I think it's Rotom. Rotom doesn't deal with anything. It's the weakest link. Right there, I was very confident that he'd go for Rapid Spin, so it was worth going for Clanging Scales. But because Rotom is the weakest link, it's the sack. And he hits me with an Analytic Psyshock? Nope. Alright, so Starmie's gone, which means when I get up Rocks, they will be here to stay. Even if it's like Fell Sting or Beedrill, first off, I have BP. Secondly, that's his only Bullet Punch resist, so that's why that turn 2 play was an effective play. Go ahead and Beedrill me up. I'll just Volt Switch. X Scizor. I want Rocks up now to pressure him. Because once, basically if he KOs me, I literally click Bullet Punch now and I win the game with my Scizor. Nothing will ever come in. And he goes Amoonguss, which is great too, because it gives me a taunt to stop his Spore, and then some Clanging Scales damage, which is even more effective, because Pokemon that are 2-hit KO'd by Bullet Punch would be Hydreigon and Muck. Amoonguss is more so 3-hit KO'd if it's Fizz Death, which it definitely is based on that Clanging Scales damage, but he also doesn't switch into Clanging Scales, so I kind of wish he went for Thirstmog there. And if he goes Muck, and I hit him with the Clanging Scales, and I hit him with the, I hit him with Close Combat after. I don't have to predict Muck though, because once again, he's just putting all his Pokemon in range of Scizor, and now that Muck has taken damage, it also dies to Moltres. So this is one of the mons that was stopping Moltres. Look at Mixed KOMMO-O not caring. Moltres gets a KO whenever it comes in. Versus basically Beedrill, a -2 Hydreigon, and an Amoonguss. I'll just Close Combat here. But by that I meant I clicked Clanging Scales. Don't have to bother predicting, though I will go for Scald. I guess he could be Acid Downpour. Maybe Moonblast just in case he is. Alright, you actually have to Spore me here. So he'll probably Spore me in double. Primarina otherwise doesn't care too much about Giga Drain because it's really Spadef. But we'll Scald, either going for a burn on Amoonguss, or if he doubles out into Terrakion trying to predict my Moltres. There's a Spore. He'll probably double here. And I think that Scizor is the double that is the mon that least cares about the double he can make into Terrakion. Nope, just goes for that. I'm surprised because if you give me Moltres, you give me a KO. Very surprised about that. I didn't think HP Fire was ever coming out there. First off, I was Primarina in. Secondly, my most likely switch, and he just gave me another mon that could take in Bullet Punch. So Hydreigon is gone, and too bad I can't U-turn. I U-turned out of the battle, but he left. Too bad I can't U-turn back on the Scizor because I would have loved that position. I don't know. That was odd. I feel like my opponent wasn't sure of what pieces he needed to win, or maybe I mean his team in general was very overwhelmed by Scizor. I hate Sylveon. I hate Wish support plus Fat Mons, especially when it's Sylveon. Dude has a potential Defogger, has a Spinner. Very tough battle incoming. Very, very, very tough. Primarina might be MVP because it deals with Hydreigon, Steelix, potentially Scizor depending on the set. Very tough battle coming out though. I don't think there's any denying that. Moltres is a fantastic lead though because it deals with everything outside of Hydreigon and potentially Tentacruel. I mean, even Tentacruel doesn't do too much. What's your set? Primarina thankfully can tank everything. U-turn, so that's either Specs or Scarf. I hope it's Scarf because I hate U-turn. I personally hate U-turn on Specs because I think that you could just rather Dark Pulse, Draco, Fire Blast, and then Flash Cannon if anything. We'll always go Moltres here. Clay BPs. As he goes for knockoff, which I don't care about either. No burn. but that's alright. I basically just get to Roost. That did 45%, so I'm fairly positive that is Choice Band Scizor. Sylveon opts to come out. Interesting. Just Flamethrower you for a little bit of damage. I mean, this is why I said this mod's a little bit annoying, because he can infinitely just Wish Pass. Ooh, nice damage. Always go Primarina. So we know now that that Scizor is Choice Band, just based on the knockoff damage. Even if I get up Rocks, which will be good versus him, it's still not, it's not like a winning play, right? Rocks are never a winning play. Flash Cannon did 0. So Scarf Hydreigon. Just Scald. Trying to get a burn maybe on Sylveon. Nice. I'll bring in Scizor because whether he Heal Bells or recovers is like Heal Bell or recover is his play. And I'm alright with Licks just because I can get up my rocks with KOMMO-O. I'm gonna be forced to defog anyway, but I can get up my rocks at least. And I didn't want to go hard Moltres just in case he has random Stone Edge. I don't think is any good. Like, I'll always be forced to defog, unfortunately. This is where it gets like annoying, right? Because I feel very, very, very forced to defog here. Hyper Voice, Heal Bell, and this thing should have Protect. So that's why there's not really very many doubles I feel like I can effectively make. I mean, I will U-turn here. As he goes, Scizor. Cool. Moltres shouldn't care about any attack he goes for, and I can just Roost. Especially because he's knockoff, I doubt he's Quick Attack. Because you already have Bullet Punch and U-turn as an attack. Why? Bro, if I burn you, what are you doing? Why'd you make that play? Scizor is a problem. Alright, Tentacruel a problem too. I'm gonna Hurricane into Z Hurricane and just get rid of this thing. I figured Rapid Spin would come first. And at least now I can potentially Z Hurricane. How much does Scald do from Tentacruel? Because I can defog at least. Scald does 52 to 61. Oh, he gave me the hit on Sylveon. That's fantastic. That is fantastic. Alright, so he's letting me break through his squad. I don't think this does... If that did 65%... I don't know the base power of Supersonic Sky Strike with Hurricane. 29 to 34. I'm gonna defog first. Because I feel like you would always switch. Yep. Alright, so we get rid of Rocks. Fantastic. I'm gonna go out into Rotom because Rotom doesn't care too much about what he can go out into. Like Scizor, I can always Thunderbolt. I'll eat this hit too unless he crits me. Fantastic. However, we'll bring out Big Boy right here. Go for Rock to ourselves and then taunt that Sylveon. That way it can't recover. Wait, why'd I go out to this? I just realized he went for Draco. What was the Flash Cannon damage? That sucks, man. Rotom ate that hit and would just recover it off. Maybe he is Specs. There's no way that was Specs damage on Primarina. That was Scarf damage. Means at -2. Come on, because I went this because I'm trying to figure... Alright, Draco can never knock me out. Nice, I can go for Rocks. As he goes Crobat. It's getting a little harder. BP though isn't looking too bad. Brave Bird's gonna hurt. I'm just gonna Clanging Scales. Hydreigon's almost in range of BP. If actually Hydreigon, yeah, it needs 2 more switch-ins. Crobat's probably Sky Strike, which I don't have a switch-in for. Actually, I do. Because my Krookodile will eat one. Now, this is definitely Sky Strike. Alright, so we might be setting up for either MOLTRES winning in the late game, which it can if it roosts versus Hydreigon. Yeah, as long as I don't let Sylveon recover, which I don't think I will. It can't wish pat, because that's one of the things about Sylveon, why Florges is better currently. Sylveon can't heal itself and heal others at the same time. Alomola has Regenerator, Florges has Synthesis. This is definitely a Sky Strike, man. Hopefully he doesn't see Stone Edge coming. Hopefully he doesn't see it coming, but it actually does connect as well. Because Stone Edge is just good here in general, yep. Alright, we get rid of Crobat. Great. Okay, so things are definitely looking up. This will obviously give him Steelix if he wants to bring it in. But I'd always get him Moltres here. I defog, that way my Hurricane connects on Tentacruel. Is that the play? Nah. I don't think I'm losing the Scizor late game. I'm going to go off the Hurricane actually connecting. I'm going to believe him. First off, Scald doesn't even kill me. Secondly, I believe. I believe. Great. So Rocks are there. Crobat's gone. In the late game, I think Primarina is just going to win. Like, by the late game, I mean now. I feel like Primarina is just going to win now. Because it just clicks Scald and doesn't care. Flamethrower still knocks out Sylveon. Yo, Moltres for MVP. Facts only. If I go a Primarina and he goes Sylveon, I just want to see how much Primarina does to Sylveon. Sylveon, you do Cleric. Moonblast is 26 to 31%. Alright, we're good. I go Primarina as he Dracos, and I click Scald always. Scald should knock out Scizor at 40%, especially because of my special attack investment. And Sylveon dies after Rocks, and Moonblast will guarantee take you out. And Scald basically hits every single switch he could have. So nice. This got a little bit better. Draco Crit was a little annoying in Rotom, but it's definitely getting better. Especially with the fact that I don't know if my Stone Edge crit on Crobat mattered. Maybe it did, but you got a Draco Crit on my Rotom. So, anyways, Scald effectively deals with something. If he gives me, first off, he chokes really hard if he goes Steelix here, because Steelix is his only bullet punch resist. At this point, Hydreigon dies to it. Scizor is 2-hit KO'd. Sylveon dies. Even if Sylveon recovers, it doesn't even matter. This is why Primarina is a fine play, because even if he U-turned, I don't see myself losing to Bullet Punch in the end. KOMMO-O is at full. And yeah, he had to hope I went for Moonblast there, but nope. We click Scald. Go ahead and give me that Scizor. And now you cannot even beat Primarina, period. If you go Steelix to try and wear me down, Steelix might actually take a hit. Doesn't matter. This is a speed type, but it won't matter even if you protect. And you have Hyper Voice, not Moonblast, so you can't get like a special attack. You can't get a double protect into a special attack drop into a triple protect. Good B. Nice Primarina for MVP. Not bad. That's what I like to see. MVP Primarina. At least in this game. Again, I had to try and pressure that Sylveon, because if he ever was able just to wish past a Tentacruel and Scizor over, I think this was an L. Beautiful. Even got a burn. Jar Ball did 16, so even without burn, you weren't doing crap anyway. And I was able to win this game. Nice. Happy about that. I think I did what I had to do in that game again. The only thing I didn't... First off, my opponent was really risky with his... Oh gosh, not this. So in theory, KOMMO-O is fantastic in this game. In theory. But so is his versus mine. But KOMMO-O checks... potentially Chestnut with the Clanging Scales, Taunt, Bisharp, Mammo. I mean, I like Bullet Punch versus team, kind of. Not really. Yo, Moltres though has 0 switch-ins. I'm leading off with it. Moltres actually has 0 switch-ins. We'll just Scald here. I mean, excuse me, Flamethrower. Moltres is also really good versus Bisharp in general, but as long as I have KOMMO and even it's Sash Endeavor, that's fine. I'm surprised. Like, what's your way of beating me now? I'm assuming it's Scarflotti. Maybe he thinks I'm Specs and he'll go KOMMO, which I'd very much like. Or maybe he's offensive Tentacruel with Hydro Pump. That's like the two things. If he goes KOMMO-O, IZ. MOLTRES is fantastic. Goes Tentacruel. Easy defog. Unless he's Hydro Vortex. Ooh, good Bisharp plays. Yeah, I might lose. Hold up. I think Rotom is the most expendable. Yeah, there was no way I was going hard into this has to be sashed. It's sashed, isn't it? Hey man. Thank you. This is sash, isn't it? It's Scarf. Okay. Woo! Alright, that's fine. No wonder he knocked off there. Either way, that was a giant threat gone. Either way, Rotom was the most expendable member always. While it did pivot in on Tentacruel, if it was Sludge Bomb, it didn't matter either way. But thankfully, we got rid of that Bisharp. That was a giant threat, man. That Bisharp might have beat me if he locked himself into Iron Head at a point. Lottie comes out. Primarina is effectively dealing with everything. We're gonna go out into our Scizor here instead, as he drops a Draco. And I think Pursuit is fine because I'm not in danger of losing to KOMMO-O. First off, this lets me click Earthquake. Secondly, I'm not in danger of losing to KOMMO-O because I have Primarina. I have a fully fizzed up Primarina, so he needs to like +2 to beat me. Oh, it's sub Belly Drum. Which either way, I think Primarina still deals with. I won't die to. First off, he didn't even get a Salic. Yeah, and MOLTRES plus KROOKODILE should win. I mean, you get to sub either way. You could have subbed for Salic. You were at 26. I mean, it didn't matter. It didn't matter because you didn't beat me there, but couldn't kill anyway. Truth. True, but be a crit plus speed boost would be better than a crit plus no speed boost. That's like the idea about what I'm saying anyway. Sludge Bomb. I don't think you do anything. Those Toxic Spikes. Can he even beat this thing? If it's Belly Drum Chestnut and not actually Spikes, yeah, he can't beat this thing. So Primarina just click Scald and then Moonblast on Chestnut and then we should win. Yeah, I literally clicked Scald till I die. I just built the team, so it's pretty bad. That Bisharp was scary. That Bisharp was scary, straight up. Oh man, no EVs and only Spikes. Oh man, that makes it easier on me. But I'm not gonna throw away just because that could be some words to throw me off. I don't think he'd do that. It doesn't sound like he'd do that, but that could be some words to throw me off though. Good game, man. Alright, I think that's a good place to end it. Thank you, fam. Really good place to end it. Let's actually see our rank. This has all my old ranks from... We're not at 1355, I think we had more. This is all my old ranks from one of the old roads. I don't know what it was. 1374 with 15-0. Not bad. Good start. Panther T was a very solid team indeed. I feel like there was... Like, those Sylveon matchups were kind of scary. But I'm glad we were able to pull through. I hope you guys all enjoyed. Of course, if you did, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. Really does help on my channel. I know, oh, just smack my headset. I know that I'm putting up a lot of Let's Go content these days, at least when I play through, but that's mainly just me porting over my Twitch stuff and then editing it a little bit. But there will always be a Showdown live on the channel every single day, whether it be something competitive or something fun with friends. Ideally, something competitive, right? But I do hope you guys all enjoyed. Of course, if you did, feel free to leave a like, subscribe. I said that a bunch of times. Thank you very much for all the support. I'll see y'all next time. Goodbye, my friends.